How many times have you been told to do Kegels with no further explanation? For some women, contracting their pelvic floor is intuitive. However, it's not so for everyone. Plenty of women who think they're doing a Kegel correctly are actually bearing down, which is the complete opposite, or using superficial muscles to perform the movement. In this video, we'll talk through what the pelvic floor is and how to contract it correctly. The pelvic floor is a group of muscles which sits underneath the pelvis, and there are 3 holes which pass through it. The urethra, which is where we pee from, the vagina, and then at the back, the anus, which is where our poo comes from. When the pelvic floor contracts, it creates a lift and a forward movement and applies pressure to these 3 holes and is a large part of how we remain continent, i.e., so we don't leak pee or poo. The pelvic floor is also important for stability of the spine or pelvis and works with the abdominals, back muscles, and diaphragm to provide this support. Now, the bulk of our pelvic floor muscles are actually concentrated towards the back of the pelvis. So when we contract, we focus on creating a contraction from the back and moving this forwards. Some cues I like to use are, imagine sucking a blueberry into your anus or back passage and then pulling that sensation forward as you try to also suck a blueberry up into the vagina, holding that for a few seconds and then relaxing completely. We often forget the last bit. Relaxing the pelvic floor is as important as being able to contract it. How do you know you're doing it correctly? There are a few things we can use, number 1 being this. You can insert a clean thumb or finger just into the entrance of the vagina, and as you contract, you should feel that pelvic floor squeezing in around that thumb or finger. If you're not too keen on sticking a finger up there, then a mirror can be a useful tool. We don't often look too closely at our nether regions, but it can be incredibly helpful to see what's going on. As you contract the pelvic floor, you should see the anus or back passage puckering, and that pelvic floor or that vaginal area should be moving away from the mirror and up towards you. If you see it coming towards you or towards the mirror, you're bearing down and you're not doing the contraction correctly. If you don't see any movement at all, you may be very weak or you could be too tight. Both of these can cause a lack of pelvic floor contraction or movement. If you are unable to get a good contraction and release with a bit of practice, please book an appointment with a pelvic physiotherapist who can assess you further and prescribe treatment as needed. This video in particular is part of our Return to Fitness and Running program, which I highly encourage you to check out for a comprehensive guide on return to fitness, impact, and running postpartum. It targets the pelvic floor, core, and so much more. Recovery takes time, and if you're looking for a safe way to get fit and return to fitness again after having a baby, check out the link in the description below. And please feel free to have a look at and subscribe to the Belly Strong channel for more videos like this.